It never fails. As soon as we start bringing the Christmas decorations out, the question starts, what do your kids want for Christmas? And the answer, of course, is simple. They want everything. But the better question to ask is, what do they need? Well, hello friends, I'm Mary Beth with At What Cost, where simple living and deep faith go hand in hand. And as you can tell, Christmas is in full swing at our house. And the question of what do your kids want for Christmas has already come up, and the answer is everything. They always want everything, right? The catalogs come in and they're looking through them and they're just highlighting and circling everything that they want, which is difficult because what they want to find under the tree is probably going to be very different than what is actually under the tree. The way we approach what goes under the tree has changed a lot since our initial first year as parents, wanting to just have that Toys R Us kind of Christmas. You know the one I'm talking about. All of those commercials that have the kids running down the stairs and there's presents heaped everywhere and they're so happy, they're jumping, they're screaming, they're laughing. It's what Christmas is supposed to be, right? It's not. That's not what Christmas is supposed to be. You see that? That's what Christmas is supposed to be, right there. Now, I'm not going to get all preachy on you, but we are going to talk about the difference between a meaningful Christmas and a full Christmas. We have been conditioned to believe that the only way our kids are actually going to be happy is if they have a lot of stuff. The only way that our kids are going to be entertained is if they have a lot of stuff. And the only way that we are ever going to get anything done is if they have stuff to occupy them. For many years, I felt duped into the big, extravagant Christmas and feeling like it wasn't actually all that it was cracked up to be. Let me tell you about our very first Christmas as a family. And just for the record, I'm not completely done decorating. In fact, let me turn you around and show you my kitchen because it's so bad. No decorations, dishes that need to be put away. Yep, we do have our Advent candles up. We have been doing some Advent. So let's rewind the clock back to 2016. We had just finalized our adoption of our 3 boys. At that time, they were 5, 4, and 1. And this felt like the perfect opportunity for Christmas, right? They're really little, so they're very excited. Our kids had been in the foster care system and had never had any kind of real feeling traditional Christmas. They didn't know who Santa Claus was. They didn't know anything about what to expect. And so it felt really fun to give them kind of that Hallmark quintessential Christmas. It was not a Hallmark movie kind of Christmas. In fact, it was a little more like Lifetime, I think. I wanted things to be perfect. We got them matching pajamas and robes. We had just rode the Polar Express a few weeks earlier. I mean, we had everything. Our house was completely decked out and we had gone all out on toys. And ultimately, at the end of the day, they really didn't play with much. They were very overwhelmed. They had too many choices. It was not going at all like I thought it would. And I remember sitting in our laundry room after I had put our kids to bed, talking to my grandmother on the phone and crying and telling her that what I had hoped was going to be the best Christmas felt like the absolute worst Christmas. And maybe you don't feel like it's the worst Christmas every year, but maybe at the end of the day, you see the mess everywhere and the toys scattered everywhere and the kids kind of playing with some things after they've just opened them, but you know that a week from now, they're going to end up back in the back of the closet. No one will even remember them. And it just doesn't feel satisfying. It actually feels kind of overwhelming. If you feel that way, you are not alone. We spent at least 3 Christmases like that, feeling like we weren't quite getting it. In fact, explaining some of these traditions to your kids while you are also trying to teach good Christian values around Christmas and practices, it doesn't always feel like it makes sense. It doesn't feel like things really come together like you want it to. Having a meaningful Christmas really meant that we had to decide which meanings we wanted to focus on in our home. What were the things that we wanted our kids to remember years from now, decades from now for them? What do we want them to take away from Christmas? So for our family, we really wanted to focus on the season of Advent. We have used a couple of different books. Let me go grab the one that we're using right now to show you. Okay, so it's this one here. It's called Jesus Has Come, and it is from the Daily Grace Company. So what you'll find is a family activity supply list, because there are some kind of arts and crafts activities that you can do. What is the story of Scripture? So it goes through really redemptive history, like an overview of redemptive history. It also has a section to tell you about what Advent is, because it's not just the little things with the doors with the chocolate that open. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So we have week 1, which is hope, week 2, which is peace, week 3, joy, and week 4, love. So there's a whole section to tell you about how you can use this devotional, what to have before you begin, and then you can go into the story of what Advent actually is. And so every night when we sit down for dinner, once everybody has kind of finished, or at least my husband has finished, he's usually the first one done, our kids are gonna like poke around, but we have a captive audience at that point. Everybody is sitting at the table, they're eating, they're not quiet, but I would like for them to be. And my husband will read the devotional, and then we will answer some of the questions. And we have our candles here at home that go with the corresponding theme. Now, this gets reinforced on Sunday when we go to church, and our church goes through Advent, and we light the Advent candle, and we have scripture read. So it's a connection that our kids are able to make, that Christmas is about the anticipation of the coming of the Messiah. Now, these don't have to be done at dinner time. You could do these anytime your family is together. And if you struggle to find a time that all of your family is together, well, then that's the next way that you can make a meaningful Christmas. Your kids are in your home really a short period of time. And it's up to you to make sure that the things that you want to instill in them, they have had some level of exposure to before they are launched out of the nest. So requiring a time when your family is all together, and I'm not talking a long time either. These devotionals take maybe 5 to 10 minutes, maybe. But having a time when you are all together and you can either read scripture and pray together, or sing a hymn, or just talk about some of the things that you have experienced this week that relate to a theme, that is another way for you to make connections with your family and instill more meaning into your season. Now, let's talk about that guy right there. See that guy? That's our TV. Our TV longs to be on all of the time. It just wants to be on all of the time. Our kids want to watch TV all the time. They have their shows that they love to watch. My husband and I love to watch TV, but during the Christmas season, we spend a lot less time watching TV and more time baking cookies, reading books together, doing art projects and puzzles and playing games, and just having more time to be connected with one another. There is such a driving force to pull us away as families, to have our kids involved in so many things that they're constantly out of our home, and we just feel like taxi drivers who run kids from one place to another and don't have a lot of time for connection. So having a no screen time kind of window during the day has really helped to take our focus off of things that ultimately don't really matter and bring us together again as a family. Now, I did a video a few weeks ago about traditions that can help to keep your family connected. And one of the things I talked about is something I will share again with you, and that is making hot chocolate and riding around in the car to look at Christmas lights. This is one of my kids' favorite activities throughout the season. They talk about it every year. When people start putting their Christmas decorations out and our kids are riding their bus to school, they see them and then tell us where the good places are because they want to go back and look at them. They know that on a Friday night or a Saturday night, or occasionally if they're out of school, a Tuesday, Wednesday, I mean, any night of the week that we can, we will make some hot chocolate, perhaps some popcorn, pile into the car and drive around and look at Christmas lights. It's relatively free. I mean, I know the price of gas sometimes is a little ridiculous, but you can always walk around your neighborhood too. Christmas morning is a very brief time in the season. It really lasts a couple of hours. If we look at Christmas morning, which is supposed to be the main event, right? That's supposed to be the main event. That's what Toys R Us told us. It's the main event, and it's what we're all hurtling toward at the end of the month. But I think we all know it's just a couple of hours. It really is. It's just a couple of hours. It's more about the things that you do in the season leading up to that day that are really going to cement those family core memories that we really want to instill in our kids for the season. Well, friends, I have lots of links in the description below. I would love for you to check out. I have a link to get to the Daily Grace Company where you can find our favorite devotional. And there are some other links down there too if you are looking for gift ideas. Thanks so much for watching. And until I see you again, keep fighting the good fight. You happy dog? Is this your first Christmas? It is your first Christmas. Yeah, it's your first Christmas as an inside dog. Oh, good boy. Yeah. Okay, go lay down. I love you. Yeah, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Yeah. Oh, good boy. Oh, thank you. Did you just burp right in my face? Thanks. Merry Christmas to me.